In 2009, Ferrari released a free-to-play racing game called Ferrari Virtual Race. It was a promotional game promoting the various cars they were selling at the time. Loading into the game, we are given the options to either load a profile or create one. As far as I can tell, profiles don't really affect the game at all. After loading into your profile, we are able to go into a single race. Before the race, we are able to change the amount of opponents and laps. We can also change the opponent's vehicles, difficulty, turn on and off vehicle damage and the racing line. After changing the race settings, we are given an overview of Mugello, the track we race at. Continuing, we are now able to choose our car and change the color of it. We have a total of 3 cars to pick from: the Ferrari 430 Scuderia, 612 Scaglietti, and the 599 GT Fiorano. After we picked our car and color, we are then able to start racing. Right after the game loads, we are given a short intro and a quick countdown. Now on to the driving physics. The driving physics in Ferrari Virtual Race aren't insanely realistic, neither super arcadey. They are pretty decent for a free-to-play racing game, but the only problem I have is that sometimes the cars feel a bit too floaty. I feel like the driving physics lean slightly to the arcade side, and I think I know why. The crash model are surprisingly really good, especially for a game about Ferraris. The other noteworthy features are that cars act realistically against different surfaces and that the interiors are animated. So pretty much Ferrari Virtual Race is a super simple racing game with a few cool features where Ferrari is the whole selling point. But that's just on the surface. Ferrari Virtual Race was developed by a company called Countach GmbH, more commonly known for their Alarm Fur Cobra 11 Crash Time games and World Racing 2. Just a year before Ferrari Virtual Race, they made Crash Time 2. It was the third game they had made for RTL, available for PC and the Xbox 360. The game follows the main characters from the show, Semir and Ben, solving crimes and working on cases in an open-world environment. Loading into the game, we are greeted by a really similar-looking menu, and while driving we can see a similar speedometer. I think you now get what I mean when I said I think I know why the driving physics lean slightly to the arcade side. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Reusing code and assets are a really common thing for game developers to do. This allows game developers to stay within their budget and reduce development time. Which is good because free-to-play promotional games like Ferrari Virtual Race usually have a low budget, and also because of the small time gap between Crash Time 2 and Ferrari Virtual Race. This allows them to focus on other things like the car models, interior animations and design. This could be why both Crash Time 2 and Ferrari Virtual Race share its damage model, driving physics, instant replay, and some other features. Some features are missing in Ferrari Virtual Race, like music, nitrous, and destructible props. Most likely because they wouldn't fit being in the game. Overall, Crash Time 2 has more features than Ferrari Virtual Race, but if you want to get any of these games, you can get Crash Time 2 on Steam for $5, while Ferrari Virtual Race is delisted off the Ferrari website. On the Wayback Machine, checking the original website where you would have downloaded the game, we can see the original description about the game. How does it work? 1. Download the Ferrari Virtual Race to your PC. 2. Configure your ideal car at the atelier. 3. Save your bespoke car in My Ferrari. 4. Export your dream car from My Ferrari to the Ferrari Virtual Race. So there was a feature where you could customize and import your cars from the Ferrari atelier? Well, I have no idea whenever this is true or not, because I could not find anything about this feature. Not even a single image, not even a single mention. The only proof I have is this file called default fcar, which I'm guessing is supposed to be a default test file for the atelier feature, and for some reason if you remove the file, all cars become black as default. Back on the original website it states, the rest of the range will be available soon.
So that was a lie.
Literally no update was given to this game. Checking just before this page got taken down, it just says the same thing. Just under it we can see something quite interesting. Go head to head. An online version of the Ferrari Virtual Race will be available soon, so you can pit your racing skills against players from all over the world, with exclusive prizes for the best drivers. This is somewhat true, as in September 2010 Ferrari Virtual Academy was released, featuring an online leaderboard where players could submit their lap times, and reportedly the individual with the fastest time was awarded a trip to Maranello. But this wasn't developed by Countach GmbH, but actually by Kuno Simulazioni, who would go on to develop Assetto Corsa 4 years later. But right at the bottom of the original website it mentions PlayStation, the Nintendo DS and Wii, and under it says, "Find out the Ferrari Challenge official game 2, with a link to the System 3 website." And going to the System 3 website in 2009, it shows another Ferrari video game, Ferrari Challenge, Trofeo Pirelli, that came out just a year before Ferrari Virtual Race, which both games share a really similar logo. Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli was developed by Eutechnics and published by System 3. It was for the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Nintendo Wii and Nintendo DS. It seems to be more complete than Ferrari Virtual Race due to having more content, having a progression system and also just generally being presented better. This makes sense since Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli costed around $50 while Ferrari Virtual Race was free. This is probably one of the strangest and most forgotten parts of Ferrari's history, how Ferrari had racing games during the late 2000s all focused on the cars. They've had two during the 90s, but this strange random burst of games around 2008 to 2012 just confuses me. Maybe Ferrari thought they could take over the racing game market, or realistically just wanted another way to market their cars. Maybe the reason why they mostly had smaller developers is for more brand control and smaller budgets. Maybe the reason why they didn't have consistent developers for their games is because of better proposals or having too high expectations from these small developers. But either way, like many small developers in the early 2010s, most of the developers for Ferrari's racing games went defunct. But with one of them somehow going to make one of the biggest racing games of all time, and Ferrari seeming to be more lenient about having their cars in video games, seemingly completely killing off any more Ferrari-branded racing games. At least Ferrari Virtual Race hasn't been completely forgotten. People still talk about it, sometimes based on misconceptions, and some are even trying to get it on GOG. There's also a mod for Synetic's more popular game that adds the track from Ferrari Virtual Race, almost like a fan-made remaster. So even if it is basically just a basic racing game with Ferrari branding everywhere, it's still somehow an interesting part of Ferrari's history with games, has an interesting and unknown feature, potential disagreements between companies and some ties to the development of one of the biggest racing games of all time.